All right, our question for today is Jack White the last genius of rock? And to make a long story short, yes, absolutely. Jack White is the last genius of rock. And that all boils down to basically one thing. Seven Nation Army. That is a absolute cork of a riff. It's one for the ages. It's a riff that had that song come out in the late 1960s, 70s, even the 80s. Any of these times when there was um, extremely stiff competition, it would have stood with the best of them. There is no other song on that level, and it really does kind of come down to the riff with this song. Post Millennium. Maybe I Believe in a Thing Called Love, The Darkness. That's another contender. Probably there's a lot of stuff on Permission to Land that would maybe stand, but especially I Believe in a Thing Called Love. But even in that comparison, Seven Nation Army still comes out tops. It is an absolute classic riff. Of course, that's not the only thing that Jack White's contributed. There's a lot of other riffs as well that, although they don't quite ascend to the heights of Seven Nation Army, it's not that that's just a fluke or that it came out of a vacuum. You got Dead Leaves on the Dirty Ground, Hardest Button to Button, Black Math, Hello Operator, just the guitar work on all those first couple of albums. Even though they don't coalesce into extremely memorable riffs, you can see where it's headed. Kind of like early AC/DC working its way up to Back in Black. And just his melodies in general, even ones that aren't specifically guitar riffs, like We're Going to Be Friends, great little ditty there. Doorbell, which is mostly kind of a riff on the drums. I don't know if Meg came up with that or what, but that's super memorable as well. Icky Thump, this kind of secondary riff that comes in after the verse and kind of gets repeated throughout, incredible. So yeah, Jack White, easily the last genius, as in somebody who was able to make some truly distinctive melodies, patterns in the rock genre. But yeah, if we were going to give some honorable mentions, also Justin Hawkins. I don't know how much his brother Dan was involved in it as well, but that entire album, Permission to Land, a truly perfect album. Every single song on that album is of top-notch quality. Could be a single in and of itself. Probably with I Believe in a Thing Called Love being the apex of that. Had they been able to keep that going and not basically completely fallen off a cliff after that, he might be the top contender. Another honorable mention is Ezra Koenig from Vampire Weekend. Another rock band in the sense it's very guitar driven, energetic music, I guess, in that sort of sense. Of course, they mix in a lot of world music and other stuff there, but all kinds of interesting melodies throughout their discography. And I don't know how much of it is Ezra's doing or Rostrom's or either the two Chris's. But yeah, stuff like Cousins, the melody to Oxford Comma, which is highlighted very nicely on the guitar break in the middle eighth there. A-Punk, Diane Young, I don't know what that is. That's crazy melodic and super unique. Even off some of their recent, I haven't actually listened to Father of the Bride yet. I've kind of picked bits and pieces here, but I want to get it on vinyl and immerse myself in it one of these days. But stuff like This Life, that's a really cool track. Sounds like a mixture between Brown Eyed Girl and CCR meets early Island Records or something, something like that. But or even some of their sleeper gems like I Stand Corrected. Yeah, tons of incredible melodies in the Vampire Weekend stuff as well. So if we were to be generous, we could say that those two, Vampire Weekend, Ezra seems to be predominant in that, and The Darkness with Justin leading the way, could join Jack White in this sort of triune rock genius godhead, I suppose we could say. Those are the three that bear record in the heavens, of heavenly rock music. But yeah, Jack White definitely on top there. Anyways, that is, I believe, the final word on that.